Hello and welcome to X&Y Gaming, another Minecraft video. And in today's video, it's actually a viewer request video. And today's date should be February 17th, 2022. It's just maybe. At any rate, we're gonna stop in here into my test for fun world. Let me just pop over here into my house. And then I'm gonna come over here to a little quieter corner of my house with less water running sound. So we're just going to come in here and check out some of the Gobber things. So for a lot of things of where to find these and all that, I've actually got a video for that. Check it out. Link in the description. We'll start with the fact that you need Gobber globs, which is to say diamonds, iron, and gold, and you'll be able to make Gobber ingots. With Gobber ingots and netherite scraps and netherite Gobber globs, you'll be able to make netherite Gobber ingots. And with these things, alongside some chorus flour and some Gobber globs, you'll be able to make Gobber ingots. These are the three main ingots you'll be using to make all of your rings, equipment, and armor and tools. The rods are simply 2 ingots, which make a stick, kind of like planks making sticks. 4 ingots on your cardinal directions will go on to make a ring of whatever Gobber flavor you're trying to make it with. And if you put an extra ingot in the center instead of making a ring, you'll make a medallion, and again, they'll come in whatever flavors of materials you use. We can get to the specific rings and medallions in a minute, but just here as the swords, as you would make any sword with a stick and the ingots. But if you're making a nether Gobber sword, then you're going to have to use the nether Gobber rod for that. Same thing for the end sword, and if you go through the process of making this alternative little staff of the sniper thing, which is it's relatively expensive, but it fires unlimited arrows, and more importantly, you can combine it with the sword to make a sword that shoots arrows. Nice. Bows are made how you might imagine, and they're made one for every material, and they're all made the same way. The same thing goes for the pickaxes, as well as the axes, shovels, bows, and introducing the paxel, which you have to make 3 separate tools, which means a whole set of Gobber rods times 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, to make 1 paxel. You can make the Gobber paxel if you want. I would rather not make the paxel until later on when you've had enough materials. If you really want, and you're not making the night vision ring, you can make this weird staff of the stars, right? Some nether Gobber rods, glowstone dust with some redstone dust. Get this thing. Place unlimited torches. Okay. Unlimited torches, unlimited light. That's pretty cool. And then you can combine it with your paxel so that your paxel has, basically an all-in-one tool and unlimited torches if you're into that thing. Then you've got your hammers, which destroy blocks in a 5x5 or 3x3 area. 5x5 for the later variants. Shovels to do the area breaking, but with dirt and gravel and sand blocks instead of the regular stony blocks. And tree axes for taking the whole ash tree down just from swinging at the base block. And yes, this is a whole 9 ingots block as part of the recipe. And that also applies to the Gobber as well. It's not cheap. The armor is mostly the same. Okay, so the armor here requires an emerald in the centerpiece. The chest, an emerald in the centerpiece. The leggings require an emerald in the centerpiece. And then the boots require an emerald in the top right little spot here. Whereas all the nether armor will actually require nether stars for each and every piece. Me personally, I don't think it's that necessary or imperative to make this unless you're going for a completion. I'd rather just take the time to make the links, which is every set of 8 links will cost you 2 nether stars in a formation like such. And then you'll be using those links in the exact same way you'd be using ingots to make any type of armor in the game. It's just the exact same. And then we move on to the Dragon Elytra, which there's an entire video on. There you go. And it's through a smithing table, by the way. And it's pretty fast and easy, and it even transfers over your awakening so you don't have to worry about losing them. The rings, I don't know what this is talking about, I guess, unless it's turning itself on and off, but that's great. But anyways, here's your Gobber ring, the base ring as shown earlier, with 4 lapis lazuli and 4 redstone dust in a formation like such. With the Ring of Return, you'll have to go out and actually use genuine magenta beds. It's not just any beds, it has to be magenta, and an ender pearl at the bottom. And the Ring of Return, I think, is very well worth it. The Ring of Swiftness will have you killing bunnies and getting some fermented spider eyes, hopefully out of some treasure chests, but I digress. It's okay, you get some speed. The Ring of the Farmer is fairly useful if you don't have the growth ward block handy, and you're going to have to gather up some bone meal if you're not lucky enough to find some, like a spot in the nether, right? The Ring of the Miner is arguably useful if you don't have a hammer, I suppose. But, my gosh, and you have to silk touch these. These are the ore blocks, not the blocks they drop. Okay, yeah, so have fun making this thing. The Ring of Ascent is honestly one of my favorites, and it absolutely negates any fall damage you could possibly take. And it's just absolutely worth it, in my opinion. The Ring of Sunshine, you can make it. There you go. Go find a sunflower meadow and a gobber ring. You waste some gobber on it. The Ring of Above and Below. I mean, it's a little teleporty. It's kind of cool, but also keep in mind that it takes away a Ring of Ascent, so you have to like make 2 gobber rings, I guess, so to speak. It's alright. The Ring of Luck. Oh man, I cannot believe I haven't made this one yet, to be completely honest, especially with how much exploration I've done. That'll be fun for another exploration video, but I mean, some redstone, glowstone dust. The fact that the nether gobber ring is the most expensive thing here, and you're going to be making it anyways for this, and it provides a little extra luck for things like opening loot chests and stuff. I mean, it's worth making. The Ring of Curing. Absolutely not as necessary if you're going to make some of the more expensive armors, like especially dragon armors, but glowstone dust, fermented eyes, gobber ring. Ring of Night Vision, absolutely one of my favorite rings. I cannot live without it. The Ring of Strength. I mean, look at this thing. It requires 2 beacons. Just go ahead, have fun making that. The Ring of Haste. So essentially what you're doing is using a nether pickaxe long enough to get your end gobber armor and all the, whatever. Make an end gobber pickaxe and then you're done, right? As far as worrying about this, and then use this to make the haste ring, and you always have haste 3. It's crazy. I love it. Ring of the Phonix is another one that goes obsolete when you make a good enough armor. But I mean, until you make that good enough armor, this is a godsend because the nether becomes easy mode afterwards. The Ring of Repair is honestly a little bit expensive, but it is 100% worth it. Especially if you haven't had the chance to get mending or just don't want to worry about it. Leave your computer AFK overnight and then all of your stuff will be healed easy. Ring of Airwalking. I mean, it's okay. A little expensive with some gas tiers, but it's alright. The Ring of the Ender Chest is the absolute #1 must-have ring of any Gobber Core experience ever. The fact that you can keep your Ender Chest in an inventory slot at the ready, ooh, baby, I love it. The Ring of the Explorer is the most obscene, disgusting, expensive thing I've ever seen in my entire life. The Ring of Blink, it's a bunch of ender pearls, but I mean, it quite literally just lets you teleport much like an enderman. The Ring of the Void is possibly one of the most absolutely useful rings that I don't even think I've made, to be honest. I'm still using the Ring of Teleport to cheat myself over there. But this absolutely, 100% need to make one of these. Oh hey, it's the Ring of Teleport. I have found 2 in forms of treasure loot, and it's great. The Ring of Dismissal, relatively cheap to make, and you can just yeet your monsters away from you. The Ring of Stealth. Now I want to say this is probably going to be really good against the Warden, but I mean, most of the thing I think it's just going to help you steal loot better. But if your armor is really good like mine, then you don't even have to worry about them seeing you. They're just going to kill themselves anyways. The Ring of the Traveler. For some reason, and I feel like there's absolutely a meme going on here, like the Traveling Pants film or book or whatever. But it's also relatively expensive with another 3 rings added on for it. You get to jump. Your jump man. Moving on to medallions, we have Medallion of Water Breathing. Another one of those that have become absolutely obsolete as soon as you make good armor. Now, I guess you could say, well, you could always make the medallions and use them to give to your friends if they visited? Maybe, sure, but here's one that gives you healing. It works while it's in your inventory. You don't have to hold it or keep it in your offhand. Honestly, if you made a bunch of the healing ones and kept them around, it would just add to your never dying factor. Because yes, there's a medallion of healing in the nether form, as well as a medallion of healing in the end Gobber form. I mean, it's a little expensive, but considering you'd be constantly healing yourself just all the time while just chilling out in your inventory, that's pretty OP, man. Especially when you can combine it with all sorts of other things and just, there's no way you can die in a Gobber map, not even in hardcore. The Medallion of the Hero is one of my absolute favorites. You got your medallion in the center with your greens on the ends and your dust on the corners, and it just works. I love it. The Medallion of Experience, slightly expensive-ish, but it provides extra experience while you're doing mining and fighting, although it has to only work while in your offhand. The Medallion of Shielding. I've never personally made this, not especially. You have to make a nether bow just for it, but I do absolutely love watching the arrow projectiles just bounce off you. It's hilarious. The Medallion of the Sea. I'm almost certain is absolutely useless if you have Depth Strider 3, but I mean, you know, you do enough treasure hunting, this will be really easy to make. The Medallion of Suffering. I mean, 2 nether stars and 2 whole swords. Ignore the ingots. You're already, it's pretty good. It's not bad, but it's pretty expensive. The staffs are all made in a weird diagonal shape, like the Craft of Clearing is like so with wheat seeds and green dye. The Transformation is like so with lapis lazuli and blue dye, and in case you're curious, these are in fact Gobber rods taken by 2 ingots, remember? Staff of the Farmer will see you combining a Gobber hoe with a Ring of the Farmer, and that makes a staff, didn't you know? Into the nether rods, we've got a tree and a sugar cane, be that spruce and oak, by the way, for your Staff of Nature, and then for the Staff of the Stars, as mentioned earlier, with placing unlimited torches, seen here. The Staff of Hostile Ensnarement allows you to store passive and hostile mobs and villagers. It's a new end item, and my god, the Staff of Ensnarement was already pretty OP. And you can make it with gobbers. Did I point it out earlier? I hope I did, but now I'm doing it anyways. Emeralds in a string, very cheap, very easy, very useful. The Staff of the Sniper is absolutely beautiful. I pointed it out earlier, we're moving on. And by moving on, I mean I'm done. It's time for me to edit this video so you can watch it by come tomorrow 11:15, 12:15 Central Standard Time. And go do laundry because I just got my final paycheck from the McJob. I hope you found this video enjoyable and informative. If for whatever reason you are unable to use roughly enough items or just enough items. And I hope your Gobber adventure is just going as awesome as humanly possible. Thank you so very much for watching. I hope your day-to-day is as beautiful as you are.